This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Indian students in London, international politics. Just the various aspects of international politics, and we're here to discuss religion in politics. When you have a city like London where there are so many different various views, various countries, various cultures coming together, and then you have somebody like a Donald Trump in the US who says Muslims would be banned, and then you have a Sadiq Khan who's now become the mayor of London. There are just so many things that develop on each day. Progressive, regressive. Progressive is London's mandate, the mayoral mandate. Regressive, perhaps some statements which come. Do you guys discuss, do you guys have solutions to offer?
I'm not sure, Radhika, we have solutions to offer, but we do have a common...
They say students can do anything.
One would hope that's right. I think, yes, absolutely. The religion in politics or casteism in politics is just very regressive and going back to... It's dirty politics that should really not be there in today's times, in the 21st century, where, you know, as citizens, as residents in London, which is arguably one of the most diverse cities in the world, as people who study here or have studied here, we are we're surrounded by diversity, and that's something we value the most. Whether it's Muslims or Jews or Christians or Sikhs or Hindus, this city lives and breathes diversity, internationalism, and that's what makes it such a great city.
The Gen Next today wants to send out a message that, hey voters, think and then cast your vote.
I mean, definitely, because what happens is, for example, the way Narendra Modi fought his election, right?
Yeah.
The reason he won was because after, I don't know how many years, it was the first election rather, which was fought on the basis of development. And that is why he won. That is the one reason why I know that my family has been, so that it's always like, oh, my family has been supporting Congress for a number of years. But Modi was one person who wasn't particularly associated with, say, this or that or this, he said this about this caste and stuff like that, because he spoke about development, and he spoke about how India needs to get out there in the world, and he has, according to me, done that. And I mean, if you talk about us as students, increasingly there's an increasing number of Indian students who are coming out to study. And when, for example, I have come to London to study, it does open your thinking up a lot, because you meet a number of different people from various different countries, right?
Yes.
Countries.
What are those important lessons you've learned? That's where I want to, that's what I want to focus on. What are those lessons where you learned and you thought, ouch, it's just so petty to think about dividing people on the basis of caste or religion when you here are living so beautifully?
Personally, I think from my experience over the last 3 years, so when I came here, right, I mean, there's this set sort of thinking that Indians have about Pakistanis and vice versa.
Okay.
And coming here has sort of opened that up so much. So the thought and the question rather is that when India and Pakistan, like when people from India and Pakistan can stay together, live together, and rather be one of your closest friends, why can't people from different castes and religions do the same thing?
Same country, of the same state.
Country. I mean, you're talking about people in the same country who can't live together, when people from two different countries who, over the years, every single time, all you said is that that country is not nice.
Yeah.
When your perception towards
So you have a very good Pakistani friend.
Yeah, really, really good.
And there are no issues whatsoever. You guys don't discuss state-country politics?
No, obviously we discuss state country politics, and everyone has their own opinion. But when it comes to, okay, friendship and stuff, I mean, it makes
you know how to put issues behind and move forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's all constructive debate, right? I mean, it's not emotions attached. I mean, there are emotions attached to it, but at the end of the day, you need to understand what's practical and logical.
And your friends at the end of the day.
At the end of
Especially only London probably has the moral right to do this, because London has sent out the message that we want diversity. The Gen Next today wants to look at elections completely differently.
Yeah, I mean, basically it's really bad to stereotype Muslims, I feel. I mean, I have a lot of Pakistani friends, and we watch matches together. We hang out together. We have so much fun
I'm
together.
very curious. What is an India-Pakistan match like?
I mean, it's so good. We basically end up supporting each other at times, and it's so good. Like the conversations we share, and we watch a lot of Pakistani movies together and Hindi movies. I mean, it's really surprising about how much they know about our culture.
And Bollywood.
Yeah, and Bollywood. And it's so good to share something like that. And it's really bad to discriminate people based on their caste or creed and things like that.
Which country they come from.
Yeah, which country they come from. And it should be basically based on their knowledge, their skills, and not really on caste is what I feel.
What has got you to believe that diversity is the way forward? Were you more closed before you came to London back in India?
So the way I was brought up in my family was Pakistan or any other country was just any other country. And I'm from Delhi, and we were born up, we were brought up as Indians, and that's it. Whether we spoke Hindi or Gujarati or Punjabi that was not a concern. So coming from Delhi, we were just normal Indians chilling out, and that's it. I came here and I used to get asked, did you have a culture shock when you came here? And honestly, my answer is I had a reverse culture shock, because I saw that actually there was a bit of segregation here in mentalities, in casteism even exists in London.
Yes.
That is a sad reality. It exists in Asian culture as well, whether it's amongst Indians, whether it's amongst Pakistanis. And taking and bringing our cosmopolitan outlook from Delhi, for example, or many of my friends from Mumbai, being at the LSE where you're surrounded by Pakistanis. I used to be called undercover Pakistani at uni. Ayush, Priyanka know that. At LSE, despite heading up LSE's India Society. That was because of the sheer number of Pakistani friends I had, and the fact that I would only watch Pakistani TV shows, which, by the way, we really need to learn from. But yeah, what that
Which
taught
ones,
me-
by the way?
Ooh, Fawad Khan, everything to do with him.
Everything to do with Fawad Khan, yeah.
No, so we've just got to learn from each other, and that learning from each other message is my key learning from London, that there is so much beauty in this world. Everyone has different perspectives, and actually there's research that proves if financial recession could have been avoided had there been more diversity in hedge fund traders or in investment bankers, whether it was female diversity or whether it was ethnic diversity. And so that has been my key learning point, which has frankly really changed the way I look at things.
And globally, countries got together to fight.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Nobody better than students in London City can send this message out in a better way, which is have diversity. Islamophobia, well, what is that? Given here, people clearly have Pakistani friends, and the girls, I must say, Indian or otherwise, are clearly after Fawad Khan. That probably is my headline. Sadiq Khan is now Mayor of London, and we have been reporting extensively that the message that London City has sent out to the world is that dividing the communities, which are from everywhere, is something that the people and the voters do not want. Inclusiveness, diversity, these are some of the things that have got the vote. Now, my question is this. It is beyond doubt that London is this multicultural, beautiful city which has a space for everybody from everywhere. But then, with the mandate now going in favor of Sadiq Khan, is there going to be an impact on the Brexit vote? How are students viewing it? Most of you are first-time viewers. But before we go into that vote and Brexit, I want to ask you about divisiveness, Given, what is that clear message that you as a voter had sent out when you voted for Sadiq Khan, if you did or if you didn't? What is it that you read?
I think London is a very accepting city, and I think the first message that went out was acceptance. Acceptance of not only an Asian mayor, but like international students, immigrants from everywhere. And it was a lot of hope that was imparted from the people of London or wherever, that we accept you for your race, for your ethnicity, for your religion. Just make us feel secure. Make us believe that we've made the right decision. And I think that gives out a big message of hope, and it speaks a lot about the people of London, which includes us as well.
Very accepting, very accommodating. Given we're talking of a South Asian Muslim who is now today leading London, and the people have voted, like she said, for many issues, and one of the main things being safety, security for the people. Of course, we've been reporting again that for Zach, The campaign went really downhill after racist and religious comments were made. But let's move away from the mayoral elections now. As students, do you view all of these very carefully? Does it matter to you very much that there are issues of religion which are brought in?
Oh yes, I can totally say that because I, being a student of Masters of Law and an LLM candidate, I think I have a lot to do with the policy making of the country. And as much as it has to do with the policy making of my native country, it also matters where I am studying. London is a cosmopolitan place where they focus on the little intricacies of a student life. And as much as we are affected by the academic issues, we are totally affected by the educational policies and also the cultural policies of the place.
And directly affected.
Exactly, directly affected. And we have student unions, we have university meetings where we're made aware of the local policies.
So you have these meetings regularly. I'm just curious. So what happens in these meetings, and do you guys also have a little debate, etc., that happens within yourself?
Yeah, when living in London, we don't feel like we're living in a British country. We celebrate all kind of festivals in our university. The Indian society and the societies of all other countries are working very nicely over here, and they just look after all the festivals, all the meetings. Even there are various general meetings also where you can just go and discuss about your issues. And also the university people also just accept all kind of children with the equal amount of what they think with other students. They just don't think that if you're from a particular country, you should be given less importance. This is the main thing that is famous about London all over the world.
So I never felt like I'm an international student here. So basically, when I just landed here for the first time, I thought there would be like so many white people, or like it would be just so different actually. But then I just like when I landed here, I saw like the multicultural people. Some were Europeans, some were from different states, some were from different countries. So yes, it was like really very good experience. I don't really feel like I'm an international student here.
You don't miss dal chawal?
I do miss dal chawal, yes, of course. I can, yeah. The plus point is like, you know, in London, like you can get everything. Like, you know, there's something 216 countries, they get the food supplies here. So yeah, if I need any dal chawal or something, I can just go around to the Asda and get it from me, yeah.
Okay, can I then conclude that in your brief stay in London so far, you have learnt a lot more about various other cultures and also perhaps Indian, because we as Indians, when we live in India, we don't know much about what the other state and how their approach to a festival is, but perhaps here you have?
Absolutely. I think communicating within the different communities of Indians in London, some people who migrated here years and years ago, they are so stuck to their roots, but they have an absolutely different life here, which they won't have back in India, and I think we are slowly adjusting to that as well. I mean, I don't feel like I'm not at home because of the people I have around me, and not just Indians. I think my friends from all over the world, there's a sense of safety, there's a sense of comfort, just because of the diversity. And I think we need to stop calling ourselves like international students or like Indians. We're global citizens.
With that, yeah.
We're
All of us
absolutely
are global citizens.
Yeah.
Okay, so students really sending out the message that, hey, stop calling us international students. We're all here, we're all contributing to the economy, to policy making, and so inclusiveness is something that they want, and looks like that's where thankfully we're all headed to, given this mandate is very clear. But how it will affect Brexit is something that we would all be very, very closely watching indeed, given the campaign which once out has been talking of sovereignty. Radhika Iyer in London, NDTV.